Hello. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? What's going on? Josh in the building. Thank you for stopping by. Let me see here. I wanna do something, and I hope it don't mess up the sound when I do this. Let me see here. Hold on. Wait a minute, y'all. I don't know. Can y'all still hear me? Do I sound okay, Josh? Let me go see if I can hear this. Okay, so y'all can hear me clear. The music isn't too loud. Okay. Hello, Sean. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna use some of this StreamYard music. Grand Rising. Yes, I told y'all I was gonna be doing me some YouTube this weekend. Putting in some. I need to make some videos. And there's a lot of news stories out here. A lot of things we can talk about, honey. It's a lot of things we can talk about. So this video here will include several different topics, which is what I'm going to start doing. Of course, we're still fighting um, for all of our other causes, okay? Justice for Carlita, of course. Yes, we will not yield on that, but we have to get a court date, okay? We're waiting on a court date. We're waiting patiently for this young man to get his court date to stand trial for the loss of life on Carlita Foley, all right? I talked to Miss Jackie a few minutes ago. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start out with, and let me know if the sound starts acting up at any time or starts crackling or whatever, because the last time I tried to use this music, it started messing up, which is why I stopped using it. But since you guys say it's okay, we are going to just get on. Hello, Regina. How you doing? Regina is in the building. OG in the building. Okay, let's see here. Sounds good. Hello, PP and mods. Chat. That was so sad about the grandmother bank. Yes, honey. Can you believe it? I mean, the things these folks will do. The things folks will do. This grandmother here. And it happened. I thought it had just happened, but they're just getting around to filing the lawsuit. But it happened in 2021. Sure did. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and finish up the copy of the actual lawsuit that was filed. Okay. All right. That's what we're gonna do. Josh speaking. Hello. Hi, Quinta. Hi, Brenda. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Yes, I do. Okay. Let's get back into this real quick, guys. Let's finish. So this is where we left off at. And it's only 12 pages, so we'll finish these 6 pages up and get on to our next story that I want to talk about today. All right. It says the open atmosphere of hostility towards people of color. And this is Black History Month, okay? You know, we have to bring light to all of these injustices that are occurring. We should do that every month, every day. But this is a month that is set aside, okay? The open atmosphere of hostility towards people of color established by Mid-Florida created an environment permeated with discriminatory intimidation, ridicule, and insult that was so severe and pervasive that it altered the conditions of Miss Stevens' personal life. That's a fact. That is a fact. Mid-Florida made no secret of its hostility and disdain towards Miss Stevens, who was financing her home through them as well as her car people. Hey, Queen Gertrude, how you doing? It says, causing her mental anguish and pain, humiliation, embarrassment, outrage, and significant interference with her ability to enjoy the same quality of life and equal treatment under the law as her white counterparts. Good morning, Miss Jackie. How you doing? Thank you for coming by. I know you got things to do, so thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of y'all stopping by. You know, so when they say that it caused her mental anguish, pain, and humiliation, remember, she was taken to jail and stripped of all of her clothing and put on the floor, on a cold floor with bugs, and had to lay there. I don't know why she didn't have a jumpsuit. I just don't get that part. Or she hadn't been around, why she couldn't even keep on her clothes, because sometimes they'll let you keep on your clothes. Racial discrimination in violation of Florida Stat 76008. Plaintiff repeats and realleges that allegations set forth in the foregoing paragraphs. Florida Stat prohibits discrimination against persons based on color, race, national origin, sex, handicap, familial status from the full and equal enjoyment of the goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages, and accommodations of any place of public accommodation. This is all in the lawsuit, guys. Mid-Florida's treatment of Ms. Stevens, as described above, is in violation of the rights afforded to her under the law, under that statute, okay? Hey, Kizzy, how you doing, Kizzy? We can meet at the spot when I finish this here up. Ms. Stevens is a member of because Kizzy got that. We're going to give away a bottle of Rocktown at the end of this. Don't y'all let me forget, because Kizzy got some new flavors. You know, she's the sponsor of the Rocktown giveaway. We're going to give away I think it was peach pie or blueberry cobbler, whatever. Ms. Stevens is a member of a protected class in that she is African American and cannot be discriminated against on the basis of her race. You know, Arkansas, let me come over here real quick. Our new governor, Sarah Huckabee's father, what was his name? Mike Huckabee's daughter, aka Sarah Huckabee, who was once Donald Trump's press secretary. Thank you for the super sticker, Regina, girl. Thank you so much, honey. I want to thank you. I do. Yes, I do. I want to thank you. So much for the support. I truly do appreciate it. Okay. I was talking about the Huckabees. You know, Mike Huckabee was once the governor. He's a horrific governor. He created turmoil in my life, made my life a living hell, thanks to him doing what he did. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. Now his daughter is wanting to take away. Look, my mind just went blank, y'all. God dog it, Kizzy, what's the word I'm looking for? That Sarah Huckabee is trying to. She thinks that Arkansas no longer needs. What is the word that I'm looking for? Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? I'm gonna have to come back to it, because sometimes, I'm getting old. My mind just went blank. It went blank. But she's trying to strip the state of its equal rights as far as African Americans. I cannot think of the correct word to use, but I will come back to it. Okay, I'll get back to it. Let me continue reading this until I can think of what it is exactly. Once again, Regina, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It says, Ms. Stevens is a member of a protected class. Yes, cannot be discriminated against based on her race. By denying her service and calling the police on her, Mid-Florida intentionally deprived Ms. Stevens of the same rights as are enjoyed by white citizens to the full and equal enjoyment of the goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages, and accommodates of a place of public accommodation, namely the Mid-Florida Credit Union branch. Now, racism doesn't happen everywhere, but some people just still live in their old ways. We just have to call that out and admit it, because we have another video that we're going to watch later to prove this, okay, that it still exists, unfortunately, okay, unfortunately. Upon information and belief, Mid-Florida employees and agents have never called the police on a similarly situated female Caucasian client asking for her funds to be returned after an ATM malfunction. And that's just what it was. The ATM man was there working on the ATM. He said, I found her 4 $100 bills. I found her 10 $20 bills. But yet still, and she had her receipt. They still did not just go ahead and just put the money in the darn account. She wanted to pay her mortgage. And they are the lien holders on her mortgage. It says, upon information and belief, Mid-Florida employees and agents have never made false promises to and refused to return a similarly situated female Caucasian client's funds after an ATM malfunction. The actions of Mid-Florida by its agents, employees, and representatives were willful, intentional, in deliberate disregard of, and with reckless indifference to the rights and sensibilities of Miss Stevens. Okay. Yes, a damn shame, Regina. Yes, it's terrible. Self-jurisdiction. Y'all say it. As a direct and proximate result of those actions, the terms, conditions, and privileges of Miss Stevens were adversely affected, and she was unlawfully harassed and disrespected solely because of the color of her skin. As a direct and proximate result of Mid-Florida's wrongful acts, Miss Stevens sustained injuries and damages including, but not limited to, pain, suffering, outrage, and humiliation, mental anguish, anxiety about her future, physical and emotional distress, loss of professional reputation, and loss of the ordinary pleasures of everyday life. Wow. Well, you know, humiliation, laying there on the floor naked, and then you wake up and a man staring over you, or some man that you don't know looking at your naked body. Okay. Count 2, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Plaintiff repeats, realleges, and incorporates all other paragraphs of this complaint as if fully set forth herein. Mid-Florida's employees and agents intentionally inflicted emotional distress upon Ms. Stevens when engaging in the above described actions and inactions, and knew that there was a high probability that such conduct would result in such distress. Mid-Florida is vicariously liable for the negligence and otherwise torturous conduct of Mid-Florida's agents, service employees, apparent agents, and or contractors occurring in the scope of their employment or relationship. Hey, Kenya, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And listen, anybody that's catching this replay, thank you so much. Catching the replay is just as good as watching me live, honey. The news will be the same. Mid-Florida employees and agents' outrageous conduct, namely denying Miss Stevens her property and placing her life in danger. Molly, you in danger, girl, by calling the police on her, caused Miss Stevens to suffer severe emotional distress that no reasonable person could be expected to endure. I don't want to lay on no cold, nasty jail floor naked. I don't think any of y'all in the chat would want to do that either. I don't care if it would make you gain a lot of money in the end. Keep that money. The aforementioned acts by Mid-Florida were the direct, proximate, and legal cause of Miss Stevens' injuries herein alleged. Miss Stevens' injuries include, but are not limited to, pain, suffering, outrage, and humiliation, mental anguish, anxiety about her future, physical and emotional distress, diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. Girl, it's nasty in there. I know. Loss of professional reputation and loss of ordinary pleasures of everyday life. Count 4, negligence. They were also negligence. You driving queen? Okay. Plaintiff repeats, realleges, and incorporates all other paragraphs of this complaint as if fully set forth herein. They're just letting you know that everything is still included in all of this. All right. Miss Stevens, as an existing customer of over 47 years at that time, this happened in 2021. Hey, Smitty, inside the Mid-Florida branch, was owed a duty of care by Mid-Florida employees to act as a reasonable, similarly situated bank employees would act under the same circumstances. Mid-Florida is vicariously liable for the negligence and otherwise torturous conduct of Mid-Florida's agents, service employees, apparent agents, and or contractors occurring in the scope of their employment or relationship. Make sure y'all like this video. Please get us in the algorithm, okay? So YouTube can push us out there, all right? We got some work to do. The work never ends. We got to fight. Mid-Florida, by and through their employees, agents, and apparent agents, breached its duty to Ms. Stevens by engaging in the following acts or omissions. And here they are. Failing to maintain ATM machines in a functional manner for its customers. You ever went up to an ATM machine and it's blinking red, out of order? You know, they need to make sure, because what if it's on the weekend, it's Saturday night, they don't open back up to Monday. What if Monday's a holiday? Their ATM is down for the whole weekend. You can't get no money out of there. You got to go to it. Look, you got to either drive to another freaking branch of that bank, or you got to go to another bank that isn't related to that bank, and they're going to charge you a $2 or $3 fee. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like the payment. My mama showed on, like, I got to take her to either Simmons Bank or Bank of America, because she not paying no fee when she using her card. I be like, Mama, it's just $2 or $3. Sometimes I be like, if I drive way over here, I'm going to spend that amount in gas anyway. I might as well go ahead and use this other bank. But no, honey, Mama said no. She is not paying no extra fees. So that's what they're saying. They failed her by keeping that ATM. And I do know that things break down sometimes, but it is what it is. In a functional manner for its customers, including Ms. Stevens, even though they knew or should have known that said machines had been malfunctioning for an unreasonable amount of time. Calling the police on a 70-year-old woman, Ms. Stevens, when she posed no threat to anybody and was sitting in a chair in a closed office, Ms. Jackie said, yes, they have a special armored truck to fix and replace money in the machine. Tell them. Okay? It says, Ms. Stevens, when she posed no threat to anybody and was sitting in a chair in a closed office having a conversation with a Mid-Florida employee. So she was in their office, no weapon. How it got escalated to that is beyond me, but I have my thoughts and ideas on that, but I'll keep that to myself. Failing to have policies in place to swiftly rectify situations involving malfunctioning ATM machines. Failing to follow policies in place to swiftly rectify situations involving malfunctioning ATM machines. Oh, they got that in there twice. Okay. Failing to train its employees and agents to cordially work with clients instead of calling the police on them. Right. Customer service is, I mean, look, if you're going to be in a position that requires customer service, you can't come to work with your problems, reflecting that onto your customers or your clients. You've got to, you've got to be professional. And when there's an issue, you can't, what is it now? The machine is broke. Well, we know. No, you've got to, yes, ma'am. How can I help you? Okay, yes, ma'am. We have been having problems with that ATM machine. In fact, they're out there working on it now. Let me take a look at your account, ma'am, and see. Oh, do you have your receipt? Okay, well, I can see you did make that deposit. Oh, and he just told us that he did locate your money, ma'am. So let me talk to my manager and see if we can go ahead and just put that money in your account, ma'am. And I'm sorry for any, trouble this has caused you. Oh, but no, they couldn't do it like that. They had to call about, you got a gun. Let's call the police. That's what had happened. That's what had happened. Failing to train its employees and agents to not to have racially discriminatory biases and to be comfortable working with clients of all races. Okay? Making false promises to Ms. Stevens that her cash deposit will post to her account in about 2 to 3 hours on April the 13th. Exactly. Stop calling the police on every small thing. Just foolishness. He said, we need more justice. Yes, we does. On April the 13th. Failing to either credit Ms. Stevens' account or simply give her the $600 cash, which she deposited into the machine when she asked for it. The aforementioned acts and omissions by Mid-Florida were the direct, proximate, and legal cause of Ms. Stevens' injuries. Herein alleged, Ms. Stevens' injuries include but are not limited to pain, suffering, outrage, and humiliation, mental anguish, anxiety about her future, physical and emotional distress, loss of professional reputation, and loss of ordinary pleasures of everyday life. Begin to say injustices of our people have been overwhelming at its best. Absolutely. Count 5. The 5, 6, whatever. Y'all know, look, these Roman numerals sometimes, baby. Plaintiff repeats, this is conversion. Plaintiff repeats, alleges, and incorporates all other paragraphs of this complaint as if fully set forth herein. Ms. Stevens had an immediate possessory right to mean possession. Okay, she had the right to possess her money, her $600, which she attempted to deposit into her bank account. Ms. Stevens was deprived of that $600 when the amount didn't post to her account, and she requested that it be returned to her. Because what if you put some money in your account and you're traveling? You need to get gas or anything. You need that money to be reflected as an immediate deposit. Mid-Florida is vicariously liable for the negligence and otherwise torturous conduct of Mid-Florida's agents, servants, employees, apparent agents, and or contractors occurring in the scope of their employment or relationship. Mid-Florida employees, that was count 4, this is going to be count 5, my bad. Mid-Florida employees and agents refused to return the $600 to Ms. Stevens, going as far as calling the police on her to be escorted off the premises. And let me come over here and tell you guys this. I spoke to that office on yesterday. I will be getting a copy of that 911 call. We're going to listen to that call that they made on this lady. We're going to have it over here because we one of the first to hear it. Remember, Philip Pia told you that, okay? We're breaking the news over here. Okay. The aforementioned acts by Mid-Florida were the direct, proximate, and legal cause of Ms. Stevens' injuries. Herein alleged Ms. Stevens' injuries include but are not limited to pain, suffering, outrage, and humiliation, mental anguish, anxiety about her future, physical and emotional distress, loss of professional reputation. And they're repeating this because it is true, and loss of ordinary pleasures of everyday life. Now, when they say loss of ordinary pleasures of everyday life, what do you all think that means? All right, count 5. Fraud. Plaintiff repeats, realleges, and incorporates all other paragraphs of this complaint as if fully set forth herein. Regina says, treating her like she's a criminal, mad, like that's my grandmom. The hell? I know. Like the lady and her husband that I had on last night. Yavani and her husband, she said she has a grandmother. She wouldn't want that to happen to her grandmother. All of my grandmothers are gone now, but I wouldn't want it to have happened to my mother or my nanny. Mid-Florida is vicariously liable for the negligence and otherwise torturous conduct of Mid-Florida's agents, servants, employees, apparent agents, and or contractors occurring in the scope of their employment or relationship. As described above, Mid-Florida employees or agents made various false statements and promises to Ms. Stevens regarding returning her money. Yes, they did. Mid-Florida's employees or agents knew or should have known that their statements were in fact false. Mid-Florida's employees or agents intended that their false statements would induce Ms. Stevens to act on them and that she would leave the premises. The aforementioned acts by Mid-Florida were the direct, proximate, and legal cause of Ms. Stevens' injuries. Herein alleged, Ms. Stevens' injuries include but are not limited to, of course, the pain, the suffering, the outrage, the humiliation, all of that she suffered from being put on that cold floor in that jail, okay? It says, wherefore, plaintiff Linda Stevens prays for judgment against defendant Mid-Florida Credit Union as follows. Judgment against Mid-Florida Credit Union for compensatory economic and non-economic damages in whatever amount plaintiff is found to be entitled. All right, exemplary damages based upon oppression and malice according to defendant's net worth. An award of interest, costs, attorney fees, and expert witness fees. And expert witness, they're going to bring in some psychiatrists and all that stuff. Okay, and they're probably going to bring in someone and say, well, how should someone have been treated? How have this been handled? They probably going to pull up some past cases of people money not posted to their account as fast in that ATM and show a pattern. It says, for such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Jury demand. Plaintiff hereby demands a jury trial by jury of all the issues in this cause. dated this first day of February 2023. Ben Crump, attorney. Okay. There you have it. There's all of their. That's other attorney and Gonzalez. Got a couple. He's out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Okay. Look at that. All right, guys. So that is the full lawsuit that was filed on behalf of Miss Linda Stevens, the grandmother, CEO grandmother, who was arrested after just trying to get her $600 deposit back, and now she has Ben Crump on the job. And you know, I always say when Ben Crump comes to town, a couple of things going down: lawsuits and payouts. Okay, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Let me see any more comments over here. We're gonna get into the next story. Talking about the lady that called the police on her, Josh. Yeah. Thank you, Kizzy. Support Cooking with PP. Absolutely. Support my other channels. Get me back to 1,000 over there. Okay? It'll be all right. We'll get there. All right. Let me stop sharing this and pull up the next thing that I want to talk about. You know, a lot of times people get the police called on them, like we just read, and they're really not doing anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing anything wrong. And very seldom do cops just come out and say, look, why you call the police? You're wrong. Well, in this case right here that we get ready to look at, the police officer did just that. He did just that. Okay? So I want you guys to let's watch this and let me know if the sound remains the same. It's called Angry Cops Scold the Karen for lying about a weapon. She called them and told them that somebody had a weapon. Okay? She was lying. Let me make sure I got this cut down over here so it won't give no echo. All right, let's get into this.
Gun? None of them are saying it. Hey, find out who it was because there needs to be some problems. There's going to be some problems.
Well, we're going to have to figure that out. That's fine. I'm not doing anymore. I have no reason to go anywhere.
No, they called him that guy. What female is calling? We need to speak to her right now because she lied to us, and that's a big issue. So find out what female inside your guys' business called us here for this kind of response. So we'll go in.
So that police officer said, which one of your employees called us and lied about someone having a gun? He said that's a big issue. So hats off to this police officer for just flat out saying somebody lied to us, and that's a problem because people do it all the time. Oh, they looks like they're gonna hurt me. They got a gun, and now this police officer on this day, he wasn't going for that BS. He wasn't going.
Inside to find out because it's ridiculous.
Pick up me some pork
Who
chops.
called the police and said someone had a gun? Okay, well, we need you to come outside and talk to us.
Get him.
Because everyone out here saying that nobody said he had a gun, and that's a very serious accusation.
I know. It looked like he had a gun in his back pocket. That's why he said like that.
So
Someone said he has.
So as you can see there, he said, that's a big problem. She said, I know. It looked like he had a gun in his back pocket. How you know? Quit calling the police on folks, y'all. Telling these police officers that people look like they look suspicious. They look like they're going to hurt somebody. They look like they have a gun. Quit doing that. Some of these police officers are getting pissed off about it because not all cops are bad cops. I've always said that, honey. I support the police officers. Publix has good sandwiches, Queen, but Yes, we don't have a Publix, so when I visit my daughter in Florida, I get to go to Publix. But yes, this cop is just pretty much gonna call this woman out. So let me get back to it. I'm gonna quit stopping it, but this just nothing surprises me though.
It's a gun.
I said, it looks like he has a gun in his back pocket. They said, where is it? I said, it looks like it's in his back pocket. And they said, what color is
But
it? And I said,
why are we
black.
calling in the first place? Because he says he's just out here recording.
Now he's recording.
So what's the issue?
What do you mean, what's the issue?
What's the issue? So he's out there recording. That could be me. I'm just recording. I'm just making me a YouTube video. I'm just out recording. Now, what when I'm, like when I'm out and I'm filming myself and I'm eating, what if somebody just, when they see my, I don't have one in here with me, but one of my tripods, because they're like, it could look like a weapon. It could really look like a weapon. So what if somebody called the police on me for that? She's recording. She's talking into a phone. What is she doing? Who's she talking to? People need to mind their business. Okay, mind the business that pays you. Stay out of folks' business.
So how did this whole thing present itself that we're calling the police to say someone has a gun who has no
He's
gun?
been out here. He was taking video and pictures of the school kids.
Okay.
And then my owner went out and he started trying to incite the owner.
Mhm.
And then our other gentleman went out with him, Shumia. And so I brought my dog out here to go pee, and the man turned around, and I saw something in his back pocket, and it scared the hell out of me, and I came in right away, and I called the police.
It scared the hell out of her. Wait a minute. She saw something in his back pocket, and it scared the hell out of her. Why were you so afraid, man? Why didn't you just stay? All he was doing was filming. He may be a YouTuber. There's a lot of YouTubers around here, and people are always recording. Bloggers, all that stuff. Oh, it's the audacity for me. Okay. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Please hit the like button. Please share us out. And if you're catching a replay, thank you so very much.
Control 567.
So when I saw it look like he had something in the face, that terrified me. I go to the office. I give my name and my number.
Feel free to hit the panel if anybody want to come up and comment on any of this that we're talking about. The link is pinned. You can also call in 501-542-2514. Call the hotline, honey.
Do you have the female's name by any chance who called?
This police officer is pissed about her calling.
Copy, thanks.
Have a weapon?
Man, my problem too with this whole situation is if you're the one calling is why are you hanging up on our call takers?
I was coming out here to see what was going on.
Okay, ma'am, everything, I understand if you thought he had a weapon, I'm fine with that. But what you did, if because he doesn't have a weapon at all.
Oh, thank
okay?
God. Okay.
No, it's not, you cannot generate a response like that and hang up on our call takers. It's so far from okay. It's just ridiculous. If you were that scared.
So, not only did she call them, then she hung up on the 911 caller, the intake caller, whatever you got. She hung up in their face. Because she has that right to do that. She hung up on them. And he is pissed off about it. If you're listening to this clearly and closely, you can hear the festivity in this officer's voice. He's not happy with her, okay? He's not happy with Miss Thing. No, he's not. Wasting their time.
Why would you keep coming back outside?
I didn't come outside. I came to the door to watch what was
You
going
stay on
on.
the phone with our call takers if you call 911. This response that you got today is ginormous for a guy who's just recording people and trying to get under people's skin.
Is that what he's doing?
I don't know. I wasn't here, but that's exactly what it seems like. And to call like that and hang up on our call takers, it's a big deal. And it's a big issue.
Sorry.
You don't get to hang up. People don't call our call takers and get to hang up like that. Their job is to give us updates so people don't get hurt.
Right. I just told them, please get someone out here immediately.
Now, we read what you guys told them, and it wasn't that. You said, yes, he has a gun, and he has a gun. Yes, he does, and he placed it in his bag. I just saw him place it in his
I
bag.
did not say any of that.
Can I just add something?
Sure.
None of that.
So since this,
And now she's lying. They have the recorded call. He said, man, we know what you said. You said he has a gun. He just put it in his back pocket or bag. And she said, I did not say anything. Girl, they got you recorded. Yes, you did. And you mad because you got caught in a lie and the man wasn't doing anything but recording. Please. Please, please, please. And I will be doing more stories like this and videos like this. So, hey, if you like it, watch it. If you don't, I understand. Okay. All right.
started out here, we've been getting phone calls nonstop in here, and death threats and everything else, nonstop. So I don't know, I can't say that they are, but I'm just saying maybe someone from whatever he's affiliated with, maybe they're calling
Oh,
it
Josh, you didn't tell the truth.
I don't know.
That's fine. My point is to say yes, I see a gun is a big deal.
I did
No,
not
we
say that.
understand
There's a
that, but
school right there.
I'm just adding that to it because I don't know if that would be the case or not.
Sounds good. Thank you. Here, Garcia, let's go. It is what Minkle. It is what it is at this point. So I mean, I don't think we need anything else right now.
Okay. So there we have it. There's that story. I just wanted to cover that to show you that sometimes these police officers will just flat out call these people out with their nonsense. Oh, he looks like he has a gun. Okay. We're terrified. Get someone up here now. And then she hung up on him. Then she lied when they did get there and said, I didn't say that. He said, oh, you said it because it's recorded. All right, let's move on to the next story, child. We finna go to H-Town. We finna go to Miss Jackie's town. Houston, here we come. Ben Crump is everywhere. He also in Houston. Harris County got some problems, y'all. They got some problems down there in the jail. So let's just listen to this video because we can. Okay, because we can. Let me find it. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. It's a news conference. Let's listen. And we're going to listen and react. We're going to listen and react, okay?
We got everybody. Come on closer, Olive. Come on closer. We all let's get close because we want the camera to see all the families. Is everybody ready? Okay. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with my co-counsel, Attorney Paul Greinke, my investigator, Arthur Reed. We have the honor of representing the families of Jacoby Pillar, Kevin Smith, Gary Smith, and Christian Smith. From Jacoby Pillar family, we're going to have his sister Octavia.
Let me just say that Ben is rocking that hat. Ben is rocking that hat. You know, he gets his words out, honey. Ben is everywhere. He Florida, Tennessee, he everywhere. Fighting for justice, fighting for the people, bringing cold cases back to life and solving these many injustices that we have to witness and endure. All right, let's get back to it. Ben
Wagner address you, as well as Ari Pillar address you. Then we're going to have Christian Smith's mother, Deborah Smith, address you.
This is a reaction video.
Deborah
Okay.
Smith.
All rights fall
We
under
have
section 107.
Deborah Smith, who is unrelated to Kevin Smith and Gary Smith. Gary Smith's brother, who is also the father of Kevin Smith, is going to address you on his behalf, and his mother, Tracy Woodson Smith, is going to address you on behalf of her baby boy, her youngest son, Kevin Smith. And it is really tragic when you think about Miss Tracy Woodson Smith and Kevin Smith Sr. They lost 2 family members in the Harris County Prison within a month's time.
Whose
And
story
so
changed, Miss Jackie?
we're here to ring the alarm because it is appalling. It is appalling
Say
that
it again.
you will have 32 detainees die in the Harris County Jail in a 14-month period. I mean, nobody really would believe it unless you had these bodies that showed you it was really happening. On average, it's 2 people a month dying in the jail here in Houston. I mean, I can't even fathom what excuse they can come up with to try to explain or justify losing so many detainees in the county jail.
And you know, just because someone is in jail, they could just be in jail on a simple traffic violation or a DWI. I mean, you know, it's not like everybody that's in jail has chopped up someone's, you know, or murdered someone or abused some children, or just, you know, they could have been in there on something minor, okay? And you're losing your life, an average of 2 a month. Something is stinking in Denmark, okay, as someone once said. All right, let's continue listening to Ben Crump. This is a news conference of Ben Crump out of H-Town, Houston, where Ms. Jackie resides, Justice for Carlita, and he's calling on the Department of Justice to investigate the Harris County jail system because too many prisoners are dying inside their jail, okay?
Jail. We are here to announce this morning that we are making a formal request to the United States Department of Justice
Come on,
to
somebody.
open up an investigation into what is going on in Houston, Texas at the Harris County Jail. I had the pleasure of speaking with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who is the ranking member of the Criminal Justice Committee in the United States House of Representatives, who is joining us in making this request to the Department of Justice, because Houston, we have a problem.
Say it.
In the Harris County Jail. And we cannot continue to look the other way, because how many people have to lose their sons and daughters, their brothers, their sisters, their husbands? How many more before we say we have to do something? I mean, when you think about the fact that Miss Deborah Smith's daughter had diabetes, she had medical issues. They talked about it. And the fact that they would deny her daughter medical assistance and medicine that they knew she needed is reprehensible. We think about Jacoby Pillar, who really, when you think about it, you hear from his family, misdemeanor trespasser. I mean, he never should have been there in the first place. But you're going to hear from Attorney Grinke, who talks about the reasons we believe that he was not.
You know, Ben Crump is the new Johnny Cochran, okay?
His death was not due to natural causes. And as we all know, recently, there was a guard who was charged with manslaughter in the death of another detainee in the Harris County Jail. You're going to hear from Ari Pillar, who is a sister to Jacoby Pillar, who's going to talk about when she worked at the Harris County Jail in 2021, how she witnessed altercations between guards and detainees that tells you that this is a pattern, this is a practice, this is a culture in the Harris County Jail.
And whenever you file lawsuits and the Justice Department and all that gets involved, they're going to show, their main goal is to show a pattern. You have a history of doing this to people. You have a pattern. This is what you do. Okay, this is what you do on a daily basis. And that's what Ben Crump intends to prove. Okay? We're also going to hear from the family. Okay, we're going to be here in a minute. So, hey, it's Saturday. I got a long weekend. I'm off Monday. Hey, I told y'all we're going to be doing this all weekend. Bringing justice. It's Black History Month. Let's go.
And so we know in 2023, in the technological age that exists in American society today, that there is video surveillance throughout that jail. What we're demanding is transparency so we can get to the truth and we can get to justice. Because as his mother said, Kevin Smith Jr. was in good health. There was nothing wrong with him, as his father says. So it's inexplicable why their son is dead. And so these are the things that we're grappling with. We are going to get to the answers of it. We are not going to continue to let these detainees, who are disproportionately Black and brown detainees, be killed at the very hands of the people who swore oath to protect and serve them and give them their constitutional right to due process. The guards can't be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I know Warren Randall, who's also here, lost his son, is going to talk about the brutality of Black people being detained by law enforcement officials, whether they're in the jail or they're out the jail. It seems to be this pattern and practice of brutality that's happening with the Harris County Sheriff's Department. And so we have to get to the bottom of it. We can't have two families dead in 1 month in one jail. Unacceptable. We can't have people who have contusions and abrasions on their body, but yet they say we can't explain the death. Well, if you look at your video, you can explain the death. You don't need to say no more, just release the video. At this time, Attorney Paul Grinke, who's a great lawyer here in the state of Texas, who is working with us on trying to bring all of these families forward to justice. Because at some point, and Ms. Smith, I don't know where Kevin's daughter is at, but at some point, and you all can come up, at some point, she's gonna ask, what happened to my daddy? And her grandmother and grandfather are gonna have to give her an answer. And we want the answer to be the truth, and that he did not die in vain. Because if it happens again after today, then shame on all of us. Not just shame on the Sheriff's Department, but shame on all of us. If we continue, I mean, it's only February and already 4th this year. It was 28 last year. What is going on in Houston? And so we're going to get to the bottom of it, because you deserve the answers, and we're going to help you answer these questions, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. At this time, you're going to hear from Attorney Paul Grinke.
Thank you. Good morning. I'll be brief. the law says that if a person is a detainee who has been convicted of nothing yet, they are innocent, that any treatment that they receive inside the jail that may be considered punishment is unconstitutional. These families have lost their loved ones whose civil rights to life and liberty were violated. We believe we will prove in the courthouse that both the conditions of confinement have led to these detainees' deaths, and both the actions of the correctional officers and authorities have led to their deaths right under the sheriff's nose. And if it happens long enough, it's with the sheriff's acquiescence. We have credible reason to believe that Jacoby Pillow died from compression asphyxia, from being restrained, similar to George Floyd. We have also credible reason to believe that there will be evidence that he was beaten multiple times by correctional officers. We also have credible reason to believe that Kevin Smith was beaten while he was detained. Okay? We believe that this is a pervasive pattern and culture of death inside this jail. Mr. Crump, we have seen, has been in Memphis, he's been in San Antonio. There are other jurisdictions where we believe that the authorities and the mayors are starting to get it right. Be transparent. Show us the video. Come talk to the families. Invite them into your office and tell us what happened. Here, again and again, the Harris County Jail and the sheriff and the county has hidden behind the word investigation. We're investigating. We can't tell you anything yet.
Yes,
Well, we're investigating too. And these families are sitting here looking for answers. So I call upon transparency, and I'm honored to work with Mr. Crump here and on behalf of these beautiful families.
Thank you, Paul. I mean, you can't just keep beating us to death and don't expect us to stand up and say no more. And so I know we're working with a lot of the civil rights.
So we're gonna continue to listen to this. Today's show will go over an hour. Normally I don't do, I've been staying within an hour, but it's Saturday. I got time today. All right. So we're gonna continue to listen to the rest of this, and then there's one more that I want to listen to. So again, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you're catching this on the replay, thank you so very much for supporting me. All right, let's continue. Let's just continue. Why don't we?
Rights organizations here in Houston, Texas, we're going to continue to demand transparency. That's the very least you can give these families. I mean, why can't you show them the video, show the community the video, so if there were mistakes made, we can try to correct them to prevent it from happening in the future.
Show the video.
We don't need to say no more, just show the video.
Okay.
Don't say no more, just show the video. Don't say no more, just show the video.
Okay, he done got him a statement down the road with. Don't say no more, just show the video. Hashtag don't say no more, just show the video. Harris County, H-Town, I love me some Houston. I got people in Houston. I'm from Beaumont, Texas, right up the street, right up Highway 10. Okay, hashtag don't say no more, just show the video. You ain't got nothing to hide, show the video. Like that cop told that woman on this other video we just reviewed, quit calling the police when ain't nothing going on. The video, show the video. Something's going on in this case, okay? Something is going on. Let's finish listening to Ben Crump. I told you this is the new Johnny Cochran. If it does not fit, then you got to quit. But hey.
Don't say no more, just show the video. Don't say no more. Just show the video. And that's what we want, transparency. I mean, we want to know what happened to Kevin Smith. We want to know what happened to Gary Smith. We want to know what happened to Christian Smith. We want to know what happened to Jacoby Pillar. We have the right to know. Harris County, we have the right to know.
We have the right.
And so at this time, you're going to hear from the families, and obviously, this is very emotional for them. They didn't sign up for this, but they have said they're going to fight to get justice for their families. So they're going to do the best they can. First, you're going to hear from the family of Jacoby Pillar. You have his sisters, Octavia Wagner, and you have Ari Pillar, who are going to address you. The other family members of y'all.
My name is Octavia Wagner. I am Jacoby's oldest sister, and I will always be here to fight for Jacoby, to demand answers. We believe Jacoby was murdered here in Harris County Jail. And no one should receive a phone call, no one telling them that their loved one is deceased, and no answers. Giving me an email to tell me to follow the email and the links to get answers. It's been 7 weeks and we have not been notified or told anything. We demand answers. We demand change, not only justice, but change here in Harris County, not just for Jacoby Pillar, but for all these families, every single person that has lost their life here in Harris County from neglect, from abuse. We need to stop. We need to be holding these people accountable for what they're doing to these Black men and Black women of all colors. It's time for a change. I'm not only mad and upset at Harris County, I'm mad at Ed Gonzalez, the sheriff, and Mayor Turner, at the state of Texas, Houston, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. They have all failed every single person that has died here. We demand answers to change.
Okay, I'm Ariana Pillow. I'm the younger sister of my brother Jacoby Pillow, who was murdered here in Harris County Jail. In being a former employee in Harris County, working for pretrial, I've literally witnessed correctional staff mistreat detainees because they were in need of insulin for diabetes or other medical issues, and I literally witnessed them be the reason for altercation taking place between them and detainees, and it's not fair and it's not right, because our brother and nobody deserves to go through what we're going through. We haven't gotten any answers from Harris County, but like my sister said, a link for us to follow. Nobody has reached out. Nobody has gave their condolences from the county. Nobody has given us anything. It's not fair and it's not right. And with this taking place, we just won't change. We'll never get our brother back. Nobody here will ever get their loved one back. But it doesn't deserve to keep on happening. And I wouldn't wish this pain on anybody.
It's traumatic. It's traumatic.
Thank you so much, Ari. And I thank you so much, Octavia. He is right. We don't want just to get justice for the families. We want change so it doesn't happen to anybody else. Obviously, these deaths are preventable. If you had, and Attorney Green, can you correct me, in 2021, it was 22 deaths. In 2022, it was 28 deaths. And now in 2023, we on record to break that number from last year with 4 deaths, 3 of them occurring in January. And so, you do the math. 32 deaths in since 2022, 14 months. And then you add another 22 deaths the year before that. I mean, you have over 50 families
Hey, Faith.
who lost their loved ones. Houston, we have a problem. We have a serious problem. And so now you're going to hear from Miss Deborah Smith, the mother of Christian Smith,
Faith, you need to
a
call
mother
Ben.
of four, who, again, like Jacoby, you scratching your head saying, why is she in prison? She was trying to protect her children from a group that was trying to beat her up. And that's what she was doing. She ended up in prison. I'm sorry, end up in jail. And then she ends up dead. So Miss Deborah Smith is going to talk about her beautiful daughter, Kristen Smith.
So this lady's daughter was evidently, he said, the reason she was in jail, she was trying to protect her daughter from being beaten up by a group of kids. You know how some kids like to jump on one person. It'd be a gang of folks want to jump on one person. Can't just fight one-on-one. You got to have all your homies to jump on one person. So the mama was trying to protect her child. She ended up in jail and then loses her life in Harris County. So she hadn't committed no heinous crime from what he just stated. Now let's listen to what the mom has to say.
Good morning. I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Kristen Nicole Smith, and my 4 grandchildren. The youngest is 7 years old. Tell me, put yourself in my spot. How do I explain that she's never, ever coming back to the 7-year-old? Harris County Jail, you need a lot of changes. If you cannot keep them alive or take care of them, release them or shut down. I'm calling for them to be shut down. Another entity come in and take over. I don't know what the protocol is. If you cannot keep them alive and you can't keep them safe, I need every official there removed and replaced. When you talk to people that have been transferred to TDC, they speak of, they tell their families how much happier they're there. Harris County Jail, y'all doing something wrong. Don't worry about me, moms and dads and family, because it's clean here. We're being fed real food. Nobody is harassing us, beating us up. Harris County, y'all need help. Harris County Jail, you need help. Why is it that my daughter, that has to be, anybody that's familiar with diabetes, your glucose has to be checked periodically before eating, after eating. That you couldn't even get her the basic of her treatment, the insulin. There's no way when she arrived at the hospital, my understanding that her glucose numbers were 20. She was gone. I know Vixen dilated. She was only moved there for a purpose. She was gone 20, no. Broke 6 ribs. That's excessive. You knew she was gone. She was gone. So what I'm seeking now is, I need answers. Her children are not ready for answers right now, but when they're ready, I want to have answers when they're ready to talk about what happened to their mom, trying to save them from a gang of children jumping on her daughter.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And we're going to help to get you those answers. At this time, we will hear from the parents of Kevin Smith Jr. and the family of Gary Smith, who both died in the custody of Harris County Jail within 3 weeks of each other. This family had to have 2 funerals. because of the malfeasance.
Malfeasance. You better say that, Ben Crump. Now, I know some people might say, well, why were both of them in jail? How did both of this? It doesn't matter. Look, you still have rights. They should not have ended up deceased in that freaking jail. And I know people are going to say, well, what are they doing to get in jail? Doesn't mean that they didn't have a right. They still have rights. I mean, look at the trial we just covered. Tim Norman has rights, okay? Justice for Dre, all right? I'm just trying to answer some questions before they start coming out, all right?
Of the Harris County Sheriff's Office is so unfair. 2 family members in less than a month dead at the hands of the Harris County Jail officials. So you will hear from Kevin Smith Sr. and Miss Tracy Woodson Smith.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Woodson Smith. I'm the mother of Kevin Leon Smith Jr. Hi, my name is Tracy Woodson Smith. I'm the mother of Kevin Leon Smith Jr. My son was incarcerated at Harris County with no health issues. I had to receive a call from the inside of a friend that knew him, reached out to their mother to contact me on social media to find out that my son was deceased. Later, I'm started calling Harris County. No one is answering the phones. So finally, I had called my son's lawyer. He called up here and got a call back with me within 5 minutes saying the allegations are true. Your son is deceased. No one called to tell me he was deceased. No one called and told me he was transported to Bentorb Hospital. From word that I know of, my son was already gone. He was just laying in the bunk. So I want foot cameras. I want to know who was the guards working. I want to know who was watching the switchboard.
Me too.
Kevin was in an open cell with more inmates. I want to know what went on with my son. Only call I got was at 1:40 stating I'm sorry for your loss. You could come pick up his property. But y'all couldn't call to tell me he was transported. Supposedly you saying he had an asthma attack. I'm the birth mother. Right. When I called up here, they say my son was transported to TDC. You cannot transfer a body that haven't been charged with a case, for one. Then when I kept asking, we cannot speak with you because you're not the next of kin. I'm his mother, so I'm the next of kin. An officer put me on hold, transferred the phone finally hung up. When I called back, we cannot speak with you, Mom. You have to prove that you the mother. Then y'all told me my son was already transported to forensic off OST. Called OST, they never had my son's body. I got in touch with a funeral home. The lady from the funeral home helped me. She called up there and they stated I had to sign a form to release his body. When I released his body, the lady said, well, I have his body. I went up to the funeral home to look at my baby being deceased. The footages that I have is not an asthma attack. And I want answers and I want justice. I will not stop until I rock everything. Everybody in Harris County, I feel that you understaffed, but if you're understaffed, why house the inmates in there?
Amen.
My son was shipped to Gales Darby unit where I was able to see him on a tablet. The words came out here, Mom, I hate I'm locked up, but I'm living good. I can see y'all, I can see my daughter. I'm eating good. We ain't got to worry about not getting our hygiene. We ain't got to worry about sleeping on floors. We ain't got to worry about the establishments up in here. Half the stuff that he was calling saying was going on in Harris County, I was trying to get my son home quick. The day I talked to him was January the 30th. The last call was at 9:42 before the phones hung up. Then I get a call on social media January the 31st at 11 a.m. stating my son was deceased. I need answers. And it's sad.
Very sad. Mr. Smith, you want to say a word?
My brother. How y'all doing? My name is Kevin Smith Sr. I'm the father of Kevin Smith. Gary Wayne Smith was my big brother. My son called and he said, Pops, I just seen Uncle Gary passing by. He spoke to me. An hour after my son hung up with me, we got a call saying my brother was dead. Said my brother died of a seizure. My brother didn't have seizures. He didn't have seizures. They say he died of it. That's what he died from. Kevin loved music. He was a line dance teacher. He was a Zydeco. Deepwood Bottom. You know, they're going to always keep that name strong. We're going to keep that going on. Deepwood Bottom's going to stand forever. As long as I got breath in my body, I'm going to make sure he ride. And I need some justice for my son and my brother. We just need this done. Harris County, y'all need some help. They need some help, man.
Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And the final people you hear from is a family that has been standing up for justice for others since they lost their son, Warren Randall and Tiffany, not Randall, Rochelle. And they lost their son, Jalen Randall. They'll briefly address you while they're here, and then we'll try to take some of the questions. Mr. Warren Randall, Mr. Tiffany, Rochelle.
Good morning. I'm here in solidarity with these families because in Houston, we have a real problem. This is the fourth largest city in America. We're more worried, the politicians and the police agencies are more worried about March Madness and the Final Four, but it's been a madness already inflicted on our people and our communities forever. The politicians, the police agencies sweep everything under the rug, but now it's time for total transparency for all these activities and things that are happening. This can't continue to happen in this city. We're composed of too many entities, too many things are happening that just being just swept under the rug. And so we want to bring notoriety and attention to the things that are happening, whether you're unarmed, whether you've been apprehended or whether you're already apprehended. It seems like young black men and men of color are at risk of not coming out alive, whether you're arresting you or whether you're already incarcerated within the Harris County system. It seems to be a big problem.
I messed up, y'all.
And no one wants to address this. The politicians, the agencies which are supposed to support and have our backs are the ones that are killing us. And so right now, everybody needs to be held accountable. All these smiles and handshaking and kissing baby this time, that's over with. The constituents of this city need your help, and you're supposed to be here to support them. This is what we voted you in office for, and this is what you're supposed to do, protect and serve us. Thank you.
My name is Tiffany Rochelle. I'm the mother of Jalen Randall. All I have to say at this point, do something. Do something quick, do something now. We can't continue to go through this, and we're gonna fight. We're not going nowhere. So you will see our face all the time, and we're gonna support every family that we possibly can in Houston, Texas, whatever it takes. We're gonna be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, and thank you so much, Warren, and we continue to pray for justice for Jalen Randall as well. At this time, we're going to take a few of your questions if you have any. Attorney Grinke and I will try to answer the both of them, but if there's a question that a family member can answer, we will try to have them answered. Are there any questions?
Talk about your efforts. You family have done so far to try to get that video evidence from the jail and also having conversations with the sheriff is also so.
Well, I know we sent letters of representation and requests for discovery to be preserved. I'll let Attorney Grinke talk about that. I know in our letter to the Department of Justice, we're asking them to start their own investigation. We don't want them to use the Texas Rangers investigation. We want their own investigation. We want them to get the videos themselves and make sure they can analyze the video. Attorney Grinke?
Mr. Crummer's right. Yeah, we on all of these cases, we immediately write to the Sheriff's Department and to the county, to Harris County, and ask for any and all evidence. We ask that it be preserved. We ask them to share it with the family if they don't want to give it to us right away, pending an investigation. Invite the families in and let them see it. Talk to them so that they're not in the dark. In every one of these cases here in Harris County, we have hit a brick wall. They send a request to the Attorney General, asking the Attorney General to find that they do not have to share this information with us while there's a pending government investigation.
So, if you're just joining, this is Harris County Police. This is in Harris County in Houston, one of the largest counties in Texas. Ben Crump is there. There's been several people, I think he said 14, several people that have gone into the Harris County jail and mysteriously they end up deceased, deleted. And the families are wanting actions. They're wanting to know what happened to their loved ones. Some of them were not even called to let them know that their son or daughter had been deceased, deleted, gone. And Ben Crump is there, and they're calling on the Department of Justice to step in and investigate and see what is going on. Why are people, family members being arrested? Well, after they've been arrested and in jail, incarcerated. And look, I know people are going to say, maybe they shouldn't be getting arrested, but okay. One woman was trying to protect her child from being jumped on by a group of people. I don't know what the young men have been arrested for. I don't know, but they still should not. They still deserve their day in court. I mean, this young man here, when he was arrested, he didn't end up deceased. He's still out walking around. We're waiting on a court date. So he didn't end up deceased. But the young lady on the side of him, she lost her life because he was cleaning his gun and it went through the wall. So now he's still living. He didn't miraculously or mysteriously get deleted while incarcerated for the brief moment that he was, Mr. Maxwell. So we want to know what's going on in Harris County, and Ben Crump is there to find out. Make sure you like this video, share us out. Let's continue, okay? Thank you for watching.
Other jurisdictions around the state have done exactly that, brought the families in at least and let the family know what's going on. That is not happening here.
And I know Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lear is going to try to meet with the families, and hopefully the sheriff will feel compelled to address these families. I know from everybody doing a survey here, nobody has talked to the sheriff directly. They've all talked to the chaplain, and that's been it. To say your loved one has died in our custody. And then what they keep telling everybody, as Ms. Smith said, both Ms. Smiths, they keep saying it's investigation. Like Attorney Greek is saying, investigation is ongoing, but that doesn't mean you can't release these videos. And I mean, you got families who've been waiting now for almost a year, since the beginning of 2022, with no answers whatsoever. And the fact that they have charged a deputy, we believe, is a signal that there's more brutality that has happened. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's a fire going on in Harris County Jail with all of these people dying in your custody. Any other questions? Well, I think these families said it best. If you can't keep our family members alive, shut it down. If that was your daughter or your son or your spouse, and they went in on a charge of a crime, nobody's convicted, and they're thinking, well, we'll go in, we will get our due process, we'll have our day in court to show we're innocent, but in the meantime, you're beat to death. I mean, if that was your loved one, you would say, no, shut this down until you can guarantee us that my loved one isn't going to die at the hands of the people who's supposed to protect them. And so these politicians can't keep hiding behind words like it's systemic, that we have an investigation going on. No, as Tiffany and these families expressed, you need to do something now. I love how Octavia said, we don't just want justice for our family. We want change. We want change so this doesn't have to happen to anybody else. And it's disproportionately Black and brown people. You know, you have to ask, is that the reason it's not being taken so seriously?
What about autopsies? Have you guys done autopsies reports back? What their process is like the cause of death?
No, right now we're doing independent.
Well, that's exactly one of the problems. We've asked for autopsy results in every one of these cases, and they won't share it with the families. It's a pending investigation. They can't even give the families that one piece of information that might help them process it.
I want to applaud District Attorney Kim Ogg having the conviction to charge the guard with manslaughter. It is our hope that her office will look at each and every one of these cases and take it to the grand jury and bring charges with the video evidence. If you got ocular proof, just like we talked about in Tyree Nichols, Arthur, you know, once you got proof that the police engaged in excessive force of a citizen, that they committed a crime, it shouldn't take, 6 months, a year, 2-year investigation. Because we did see when it was those Black officers in Memphis, Tennessee, in less than 20 days, they were terminated, arrested, and charged. And so that's the blueprint now. That is the blueprint. So they can't tell us this investigation is going to take, a year. When you got video, if this was any one of their family members and you had video of them killing somebody, do you think it would take them a long investigation? So why do we change the rules when it's law enforcement? You got the video. I got to believe every part of that jail got video covered it. Get it to Kim Ogg's office. Let's go ahead. And I think it bears repeating. As the chief of police in Memphis said, once they saw the video, it was important for the community to see that swift action was being taken, that they were being swiftly brought to justice. Well, as we said, whether it's Black officers or white officers, the community needs to see that it's swift action being taken, that they're being brought swiftly to justice. Not just when it's Black officers, when it's white officers, when it's any officer. It's important to our community to see swift action. One last question. What change looks like the powers that be said to the sheriff, the county commission, hey, if we cannot keep the citizens safe, then we need to make plans to have somebody else come run the jail. It's that simple. We gotta keep citizens safe. These are citizens. I know they have been charged with a crime, but last time I read the United States Constitution, it said innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
We will keep you updated. Right. Hopefully, when they have the meeting with the Congresswoman, we will be able to report back to you all that an investigation has been opened by the Department of Justice on the federal level. Attorney Grinke and I will come as we get results of some of these independent autopsies that we will share with you. And we say to any and all other families who have died in custody at the Harris County Sheriff's Department, please contact us, please come forward. As a family member said, why haven't others come forward? A lot of times when you a marginalized person of color, you start to lose hope. You say, why come forward? Nobody seems to care. Well, we do care. And we believe that there are power in numbers. Come and join Deborah Smith, the mother of Christian Smith. Come and join Tracy Woodson Smith and Kevin Smith Sr., the parents of Kevin Smith Jr. and the relative of Gary Smith. Come and join Ari Pillar and Octavia Wagner, the sisters of Jacoby Pillar. The more numbers we get, the harder it is to sweep it under the rug. Justice for all these families. Don't say no more. Just show us the video. Thank you. Don't say no more. Show us the video. 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 Thank you.
All right. Don't say no more. Just show us the video. Okay, y'all heard Ben Crump, that news conference there with the family of those inmates, the defendants who have lost their life. Don't show no more. Just show us the video. Harris County. It looks like it appears that Harris County needs some rehabilitation with the way that they're handling inmates there. Okay, hold on. We're not done yet. Oh, we got time today. We got time today, and hey, catch the replay. If you gotta go, I understand. So here's another one. These are family of inmate who died in Harris County Jail hold a news conference for civil human rights. We're gonna continue. This is still with Harris County. All right. So let's just get into this and see what they're talking about. Let's listen to the family.
In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, we bear witness for one God that we praise us to forever. We have come here collectively today to speak out about what is happening here at the Harris County Jail. Enough is enough. There are too many young African-American men and black men, period, dying in this jail under very suspicious circumstances. There are too many deputies, as we've been seeing here lately, that's being charged with violating the human and civil rights of inmates in this jail. Just because a man is charged with a crime does not mean he's guilty of that crime. And just because a man is charged with a crime does not mean that he no longer has human and civil rights and constitutional protections. The Harris County Jail has become the house of death in Houston, Texas. This is the biggest funeral home, the biggest morgue in Harris County is the Harris County Jail. It is sad to learn that this place is so severely understaffed. This place is extremely overworking workers and deputies who are so frustrated with stress to where you don't have the appropriate funds to hire the appropriate people to work in facilities like this. You're picking and choosing from the bottom of the barrel because you don't have the money to hire qualified people that should be working in jails like this with some sense of humanity. A lot of these brothers are being beaten, being stomped, being choked, being slammed, necks broken, backs broken, arms broken, internal bleeding, organs being punctured from beatings at the hands of deputies. This is a fact. Enough is enough. Too many young men are dying in this jail, and we demand immediate changes right now to what is taking place in this jail. This place is the house of death. The Harris County Jail is the house of death, whether we like it or not. And those in this jail, some of them are being stuck in this jail because the courts are moving so slow. The courts are just resetting and resetting and resetting and resetting, leaving them to wallow and live in squalor. Some in this jail have even sent pictures anonymously that the conditions are less than a third world country. This is a shame what's taking place in this jail, and we demand immediate change. If the FBI needs to step in, the Department of Justice needs to step in and take over this jail, well then what are you waiting on? Because if it was the same number of young white men dying in this jail like it's young black men, they would have came in a long time ago and did something about this. This mother's son just passed in this jail, and she was speaking about the crazy circumstances of how she learned about her son's death, just to show you the blatant level of insensitivity when it comes to notifying families and loved ones of what's happening with their loved ones in this jail. Go ahead. Let's take your son's name again.
My son is Kevin Leon Smith Jr. I got an inside call from social media stating that my son passed away. They seen him laying in the bunk. His pants was urine. They was already wet. When they picked him up on the stretcher, they made like they was doing CPR, which was not true. When I called, no one reached out to me. Finally, a chaplain called me close to 1 o'clock. Y'all say my son was transported to Bentorb Hospital. He was out Harris County system at 9:12 a.m. How did y'all even know he was dead at 9:12 a.m.? If you go on your records and look now, it's stating my son is still active in Harris County on the 5th floor. Not he's deceased. He had court February the 3rd, which he was coming home that Friday. Y'all reset it and said he'll be reset to next February the 24th. How you reset a deceased body? That's what I'm not understanding. Then when I called up here, I have to call up here and let them know my son dead in the custody of them. He wasn't at home, he was in their custody. Whether they overstaffed, understaffed, and all that, I know for a fact you have 2 guards that watches that floor at night. Kevin wasn't in the 1 or 2 cell. He was housed in the big cell where it was opening. Nobody seen nothing, supposedly, but I have some that's willing to talk, but I don't want to put them children in danger for their parents to get the same call saying that they left. They scared to say something because the guard, as they said, whooping their ass. But this one right here, Kevin Leon Smith Jr., Zydeco Kevo gonna shake the world. This body right here is not gonna stop till we get justice. I want everybody that supposedly did CPR, everybody that supposedly transported them, the staff that was working that night, the ones that watched the switchboard. I want camera footages for if I got to pay and get my last dime. This death right here would not go unsolved. Then y'all have the nerve to call me and tell me I can come pick up his property, a cell phone, and clothes that when y'all locked my son up, July the 1st, y'all got a newspaper article that was just printed out Wednesday, stating he's from Katy. He's not. Stating that he was 24 years old on a $10,000 bond. Not. Stating that y'all just served my house July the 26th.
July 26th.
He was in y'all custody. Who did y'all serve papers to?
Who did they serve?
And it's sad. It's truly sad. I'm just holding together. Then when I call up here to get information,
Tell us we not the parent. He'll say he have no next of kin.
And I know
he has no next of kin. But we is his mother and father.
And I'm
saying he had no next of kin. They wouldn't give us no information.
And
until the lawyer called.
I don't know if he a sergeant or deputy. Bailey was the phone call. When I called, I spoke with that one. He told me my son was moved to TDC. You cannot move a body to TDC if you haven't got charged of a crime. How did you move him to TDC? They moved my son to Guard Darby unit, which he was happy, even though he was locked up. Mama, we eating good. They clean up here. I was able to see my son.
He let him talk to that parents. They can talk. We can see.
My son gets shipped. He gets shipped back to Harris County custody, and I find out he dead. Y'all not even giving these people hygiene stuff. Even when I was doing commissary, y'all wasn't even getting them.
So he her son was in Harris County, and then he was moved to another facility in that county. And they heard him say that they were able to do video conferences with him. He said he was eating good. He was, he was still locked up, but at least he was getting the basics, being able to take showers and getting their meals and not being beaten. But then they shipped him back to Harris County, and that's when he lost his life. This is according to the mom. So let's continue to listen. This is still related to the what we just saw Ben Crump talking about there, the news conference with all the families. This is that same family, but she's with someone different. He sounds like he might be a pastor, that man that was speaking at first. So let's just continue to listen, okay? Black History Month, we're fighting for justice. We're always fighting for justice over here. Remember, this channel is the people's channel, okay? Yes, it is. I said so.
His back saying it didn't went through.
Wasn't getting nothing. He called and said, "Pop, I ain't get it." Yeah, it's there. We sent it, but he kept saying he ain't get it. Wasn't getting nothing.
This one right here it's hard. And the only thing y'all look at is, oh, look what he charged with, this and that. Yeah, but y'all ain't prove him guilty. a guilty person wasn't coming home. I don't give a damn if he sat out here and shot 9 people. At the end of the day, they don't give nobody no right to take nobody. You got serial killers and everybody up out here still, y'all letting them out on $2 bond. They come out and do the same thing. Really? And y'all don't have the decency to call and tell a parent, a family, nothing that's going on with their loved ones in here. He's just a number. I lost my brother-in-law 3 weeks prior to that.
Gary Wayne Smith is my big brother.
The third victim that got
the third victim here said he died of a seizure. You don't have seizure. They ain't have seizure.
Y'all still don't have a motive how Kevin died up in here. Y'all just told me it was emergency medical. What emergency medical? I'm his mother and I ain't never known he had emergency medical. Ever. Tracy Lee Woodson - Smith. TRACY LEE WOOD SON SMITH.
It's hard to pick up multiple voices.
Right, sorry.
Tell us your name first, please.
How y'all doing? My name is Kevin Smith, Sr. Kevin Jr. was my son. He's out of Coquitlam. The spelling of my name is KEVIN LEON SMITH, Senior. All I'm saying is, it's too much going on. We just talked to my son the night before.
Oh yes, Queen the Queen. The more coverage this story these families get, is the more the merrier. Yes, honey. Let's have it like everybody was covering Tim Norman. Everybody can cover this. That will be awesome. So yes, please tag. You know, well, you don't have to tag me, but yeah, I will make sure I watch your videos. So absolutely, yes, this is a horrible story. So yes, please do. You can also cover justice for Carlita. The more the merrier. We need all the help we can get.
She called me to say, I wasn't gonna tell you. She say, baby, but he be home Friday. She was so excited. He was excited. He told her, he said, Mama, I gotta get off the phone with y'all because I need to call in everybody, let them know that party is going down. 2 things I always told my son, I never want to see him. Jail or locked up. Locked up or dead. My son in both places. He in both places, man. Somebody needs to come. Something got to come, man. He just got to come on with it. They got to come with it, man. For real, they got to come with this.
We know.
Then my brother, on top of that, my brother, 2.5 weeks before that, my brother passed. Then my son was the last person to see my brother because he called us and say, Pop, I just saw Uncle Gary pass by. He never made it back to the cell. Never made it back. In the infirmary. He dead.
Before I say something, let's let Dr. Matthews.
All right, I'm Dr. Candace Matthews. I'm in the capacity of the vice chair for the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats statewide. Ed Gonzalez is one of our candidates that we endorsed, and we also will hold him accountable to ensure that this atrocity is being handled correctly. Because according to these documents, these are federal laws that has been broken here in Harris County Jail. The first one falls under the 8th Amendment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. Now, I'm going to go directly to the Government Code, Title 4, Executive Branch, Subtitle D, Corrections, Chapter 501, Inmate Welfare, Chapter A, General Welfare Provisions, which is Section 501.055, Report of Inmate Death. Part C, if an inmate dies as described in subsection B1, the department or an authorized official of the department shall immediately attempt to notify the next of kin of the inmate that the inmate has died. State the time of death of the inmate and inform the next of kin that unless the next of kin objects to the department's within 8 hours of the stated time of death, an autopsy will be conducted on the inmate. Well, clearly this law was broken because she received calls from random people on social media. So that's what we're doing in Harris County. We just calling folks on social media and not calling officially within that 8-period time frame according to federal law. That's not happening here. So Ed Gonzalez, you're going to have to tighten up, sir. Now, I am going to say that we do have a meeting with Ed Gonzalez on Thursday at 12 noon. Myself and other leadership here in the Houston area in reference to what is happening in this jail. So Brother Cornell is absolutely right. This is the house of death. It is, because you can check in, but you can't check out. Well, we're going to ensure that we're going to get a tightening on that. Because at the end of the day, this is unacceptable. And the law is the law, and it needs to be followed. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Strain Barrett. My husband was Gregory Bernard Barrett. He was actually here for a parole violation, but he had a parole hearing for September 3rd that had been reset for September 3rd. It had been reset twice. He died in the isolation cell. They actually put him in the isolation cell after they tested him for COVID. They put him in the isolation cell. I talked to him Friday morning. He told me, he gave me the symptoms. I told him what he had. Because I work for Harris County. I've been there for 28 years. They did not know that because it wasn't on the paperwork. They found that out Saturday morning when I walked in to check on him. That's when they found out, and they were shocked. The chaplain came out. She told me she needed to talk to me. She wanted me to put my things in a locker. She took me back, followed by a deputy or two.
Okay, so this lady, her husband got locked up. They didn't know that she worked, that they didn't know that, his wife worked there. And now Queen says your brother was locked up for 14 years in solitary confinement. And is that when they're just like in a one room and they get to go out for 1 hour a day for 14 years? Oh my goodness. He was in solitary confinement for 14 years. I believe that's when they're just in a single room by themselves and they are the whole or whatever. And yes, oh my goodness, that is crazy. Well, maybe you'll share on your channel what they. Oh my goodness, this is just really it's a sad situation. It really is. My. But they didn't know that this lady was her husband. The man, one of the people lost their life. It was her husband. She works there. Let's finish listening.
Took me to a room and told me that they found my husband unresponsive in his cell. I said he wasn't in his cell because I'm now at Baker Street, not at the new jail where he was at. She said they found him at 10-something. What happened in the time that he was put in an isolation cell at 11-something on Friday, he was not checked per the coroner. The coroner told me himself, the chief coroner, Dr. Wolf, told me that his core temperature was still high. He had a high temperature. He was not seen. From the time that he was put in that isolation cell on Friday at 11 a.m. until they found him unresponsive with a gash in his head from falling on the concrete floor in the isolation cell on Saturday morning. So what happened to those shifts that did not check him? Did he knock on the door? Did he scream for help? Did he ask the staff to help him? My thing is this. These inmates are not dogs. They deserve help. And I know y'all not helping him because when he first got here, he called and told me that he had been walking around with no socks and no shoes for 3 days. He went to court with no socks and no shoes on. He was cold. I had to call down here to the regular jail and beg another deputy to please get him some socks and some shoes and a.
Now look, from a lot of the work I've seen when prisoners are brought to a place for treatment or whatever. They're fully clothed. They have on shoes. They may be shackled, but I don't get it. Harris County has just been negligent, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay.
Blanket, because my husband was cold and shivering on the phone, and that makes no sense. These inmates are not animals. Treat them with the same dignity that you would treat your brothers and your fathers and your sons and your kids. Don't treat them like dogs. They are not dogs. Treat them like you would treat your family. Now, this man, my little 9-year-old grandchild, he don't even want to come to the house because this man is not here.
I definitely want this brother to tell his story of what happened to him in this jail. Come over here, brother. And he does have an attorney.
How y'all doing?
What's your name, sir? How you spell it? What's your name?
My name is Tron Medis. My name is Tron Medis, spelled Tron. Last name Medis, M as in Mary, A-D-I-S-E, M-A-D-I-S-E, Medis. So I was attacked while in Harris County. I came to jail on a weapons charge, just trying to protect myself because the job that I was working at, the place on side of it was robbed 3 times since I was there. But anyway, I get to the jail. I'm in for a while. What happened, the officer must have mistaken me for somebody else grabbed me. And I wrote him up because he twisted my arm. So when he found out I wrote him up, I got written up. And I was transferred, and the officer that I wrote up, transferred me to the murder tank, which they call the murder tank, and it was already on quarantine. So no one was even supposed to go in that cell. He forced me to go in that cell after I told him I didn't want to go in there, but he told me I had to go in there, and he made me go in. Upon being in there, I wasn't even in there long. I was attacked by 8 individuals when I went into the cell. They closed the door on me and they jumped me. They beat me. I'm screaming for help and I'm thinking I'm about to die. And they just standing there looking at me. And they broke my ribs. They broke my shoulder, my right shoulder, my right knee. They stitched my eye back in. Thank God that he was on my side to save me.
Did he say they stitched his eye back in? So he gets put in a room that's supposedly quarantined. Nobody was supposed to be put in there. The officer made him go in there anyway. And then the other people that was already locked just started jumping on it. Why they just want to jump on the man? And then they break his ribs. And then I think he said they stitched his eye back up. Damn.
Because I wouldn't have made it out. When they finally came in the cell to pull me out, it was because an old man, he started beating on the window and screaming for help, and then they left me and went and started attacking him. And that's what made them come in and pull them off of the old man. So I started screaming at the bars, like, come get me, help me. And that's when they came pull me out, and they was laughing at me the whole time. So when I get downstairs and they bring me to see the nurses, right? When they bring me to see the nurses, they're laughing at me, and because I'm in so much pain and I'm crying, they're telling me to shut up or I'm gonna put you in a hole. So the one lady, she tell the other officer, put him in a hole. And so it was a black nurse. She heard what happened and she was like, no, y'all cannot put him in a hole. And she sit by my side until the ambulance came to make sure I got sent to Bental. And I was in the emergency room, the ICU, for a couple of days.
Well, thank God for that one black nurse who had the decency to say, no, you can't put this man in the hole who has been beaten and needs medical attention. And he said she stayed by his side until the ambulance arrived. You know, a lot of these people, you know, people sign up to be public servants to work for the public. A lot of people do it just for money. And it's really sad. It's really sad. But then you have that, but thank God, you always have that one or two, always have that one person that will stand up for what's right. You know, there's always gonna be that one person that's gonna say, wait a minute, this ain't right. I can't let this happen. There's gonna be that one person. They may not even really care for someone or whatever. They're gonna come out and speak up on it. And this is what that woman did. And thank God for those type of people. I know some people like that, okay? And I respect them. All right, let's continue watching this. It's almost over. But like I said, we're going to be doing this all weekend. I'm off till Tuesday. Justice, okay? Cold cases.
In critical condition. And the only way my family found out, it was because a nurse at the jail, he snuck me a pen and paper, blocked the police from me giving him my information to contact my family. He blocked the police and slipped me a pen and a piece of paper, and had me to write my current fiance's number down and my sister's number. And he called them and told them what had happened to me while I was in there. Sorry. Okay. So I had to. So when my family found out and they got me finding me out, I contacted attorney Lewis, and I told her what happened. So she's now representing me, attorney Lewis from the Lewis Law Group. And but my thing is, this past year has been so miserable and so depressing because I can't play with my kids like I want to. I'm still going through surgeries. I can't do my job. I'm a master barber. And I can't do my job that I grew up doing and take care of my family properly like I need to because I'm physically injured and I need so many surgeries to get well. And I just thank y'all for being here today.
We'll take any questions from you all at this point. Come back over here, Dad. Come back, Mom. Come back with a microphone. Yeah.
You found out that your son was killed via social media, is that correct?
Yes.
What was that moment like for you? Is that anything that you
First of all, my daughter woke up. They could have been twins, and she had just came in there and say, "Mom, I just had a dream. Grandma died and Kevin went to jail." So I looked at her and said, "Destiny, get out of here. You know your grandma ain't dead and Kevin already in jail." Prior to my phone ringing, I opened up my phone and looked at Facebook. And the inmate that reached out to his mother to call me, my son has a trail ride group. It's 3 of them in here that's members of his group. They said, "Mama, they lying. They lying."
So this Kevin, this is the one they call Zydeco Kevin. So she just said he was a trail rider. You know, Family Mackey, he does trail rides. Shout out to Family Mackey and Jackie Mackey. You know, trail rides. That's a big popular thing in Texas for you Texans. A lot of my family members does the Zydeco. My grandfather, rest in peace, Clyde Bruton, he could do the Zydeco very well. Here he is alongside with my nephew, Kelson, who is deceased as well. He was gunned down in the streets of Little Rock at the age of 21. Gramps lived with me up until the time his body gave out on it. He lived to be a good old man, okay? He lived a good long life, so you know, there's no need to be, although I miss him, but he lived a good long life. But he knew how to Zydeco. Zydeco is something I never could learn how to do. They move too fast, okay? I just want to throw that in there since they're talking about trail rides and Zydeco. My sister Beth can Zydeco. I can't do it. I just can't do it. All right, let's get back to this. This is almost over with.
So I say, "Who lying?" I say, "Baby, I'm finna tell you, do not talk over this phone. They being recorded. I don't want y'all in trouble or they do something to y'all. I'll get a lawyer to come visit you where you can talk." He said, "Okay, Mama." At that time, my daughters, I walked in the room, all my girls was in the room, and I said, "They just told me to check on Kevin, he dead." And they was like, Mama, no. When I called the lawyer and he said, I'll call you right back. When I got that call back, I felt it. I'm hurt my son gone, but the hurtest part is he was in y'all custody. And an outsider had to call me. Y'all don't even have the decency to even reach out to the family and let them know. At this point, this is baby right here. 2-year-old daughter. Y'all looking at her, this is exactly how my son looks.
It's him. It's him. This is twin right here.
This the hurting part. This baby wakes up now. She feels something. This morning she wake up, call my daddy, call my daddy. He calls her every day from jail. Every day. If he can't reach up, Mama, call my baby. So just to tell this baby she ain't got no daddy, I mean, it's hurting me. I'm his mama, but at the end of the day, she 2 years old. She don't know. When she get older, we gotta tell her your daddy died in Harris County. That's hurting. You took that from us. You took my baby. And the point to have no remorse to say nothing about it. And then what's giving me the allegations y'all putting on the paper and saying, oh, he had an asthma attack. I know for a fact my son didn't have an asthma attack. While they was transporting line and say his body was already over here at the forensic, it wasn't. I literally got the funeral home to go get my son's body.
Next question.
I know that you guys mentioned that you're meeting with Kirsten Ellis on Thursday.
You know, I want to say that some people are stronger than others. The way this mother is standing up there talking about her son and she hasn't cried, and it doesn't mean she doesn't love her son. Some people can handle it better than others. Now, on the other video that we watched, in this same one, when the other mother came up and when the lady came up and spoke about her husband, you know, she was crying, she was emotional. And then when the young girl spoke about, I think this man's sister, I believe, on the other video that we watched, with Ben Crump, the other one, you know, she was very emotional and crying. I was just trying to say that I was one of those people that's just not able to get up and talk. I couldn't speak at Graham's funeral. My nephew Jeff's funeral the entire time. You know, I was crying the entire time along the same with Grams. There's no way I would have been able to get up. And you know how people say the family is time for people to get up and speak. I would like to have been able to get up there and say, you know, Grams taught me how to cook gumbo. I'm gonna miss my grandmother. He taught me how to just do all those good cakes and dishes. You know, we would sit up and talk and drink all times of the night, me and Clyde, but I couldn't do that at that time. To get up and tell him how good of a man he was. I can say it now, but at that time, so I'm just saying some of these people are strong. I don't know how they do it. And somebody said, God give you the strength. Well, I wasn't able to do it. Okay, we had none of the family, none of us was able to. One person got up and she talked too long. But anyway, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this family.
There's a list of cases that you would like to see to present the vaccine from. What would those be?
We're gonna present that list to the sheriff. We're gonna release it to the public sometime this evening. But one of the first things on the list, what we want is adequate staffing in these jails. 2, we want adequate notification according to state law and according to federal law of when loved ones are to be notified and how they're to be notified. And 3, we want an outside agency to be contracted by Harris County Commissioner's Court to investigate the allegations of abuse, wrongdoing, and murder in the Harris County Jail. We cannot trust them to investigate themselves. We want an outside agency that's paid by the Commissioner's Court of Harris County to investigate all these deaths and killings and beatings.
And that's why Ben Crump is calling on the Department of Justice to come in and investigate, because you can't let it stick with the state of Texas, okay? I'm sorry, I love me some Texas. I love the Cowboys, I love Texas, I'm from Texas. But sometimes you can't let it happen internally. You need an outside agent to come in. Yes, she is focused. Yeah, you know, and I had to handle it with my grandfather. I had to put the funeral together and do all that stuff. Get all the food together for the repast. Yeah, I had to do all that. Sure did. But there was no way I was gonna be able to get up there and talk. I just wasn't gonna do that. Nope. Yes. Okay. We're almost through with this, guys. We're almost through. Thank you guys for hanging in here with me. Okay.
In the Harris County Jail. You just had a deputy arrested yesterday and indicted yesterday. A deputy just got arrested for beating the hell out of one of these inmates. But that's not the first one in the last several months. It's happening over and over and over again in this jail.
Why do these, you know what? Why are these doggone deputies and police officers just steadily beating up people? I mean, I know it's the training. I think it's the lack of training, sensitivity. I mean, come on. That you beating up inmates to the point of you getting arrested. You don't, deputies and staff members over here, you don't want to end up in the same jail that you're working. I would think not.
And it's only because the Department of Justice has not stepped in and took over this jail. And it's only because no outside agency that will make the report public immediately. We wanted 3 days after they completed to be made public to the public of what's going on inside this jail with allegations of abuse, wrongdoing, and murder.
Open the buck stops with the Harris County Sheriff. It seems like it's systemic when you have nurses laughing at inmates who have been injured below. And different deputies treating different people in different ways. Shouldn't there be greater accountability for the Harris County Sheriff? And do you think that he should step down in some capacity, seeing that this is a repeated thing that has happened over and over again since he was sheriff?
Let me say this to you. This same thing was happening under Sheriff Johnny Holmes when I was a child. This same thing was happening under Sheriff Hickman. It happened under Sheriff Garcia. It's happening under Sheriff Gonzalez. It is the culture of the Harris County Sheriff's Department in these jails that is the problem. That's the problem. They honestly believe they can beat the hell out of inmates and get away with it. They honestly believe if they kill one of them, they can cover it up and the system will protect them. So Sheriff Gonzalez is a product of that culture. And that's why an outside agency needs to step in and take over the leadership of this jail. Because taking somebody else from among the ranks of that same culture ain't gonna fix this problem. We need a real agency to step in like the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division. Investigate this jail for human and civil rights violations and let the truth fall where it may, and then let's determine who's the most qualified that can be put in place to govern this jail. Because we keep electing the same folks from the same law enforcement culture and we keep getting the same results.
Okay. And so again, we've been in talks with Sheriff Ed Gonzalez because he has to talk to me because I'm also the accountability chair for the Texas Democratic Party, the Black Caucus. So I actually will have an appointment where I will walk in these jails to talk to some of these inmates and speak to them on what is actually happening. Okay. Now, Ed Gonzalez, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez has been very transparent in certain ways. He's been very to the fact where he's in open arms for suggestions and things that can be done in his jail. Because I did let him know that you have to drain the swamp of these corrupt people that's working for you. You have some of these people in here that are white supremacists that's hiding behind a badge. And you have to be able to drain this out of here. So in order for us to help you, you got to help us help you. Because if not, then we'll fire you at the polls and get somebody else here. So that's kind of where we are right now. So on Thursday, we'll be meeting with him, like I said again, at 12 noon. Myself, LULAC, and other political organizations, so we can get to the table and get to the handle of what this problem is. So are there any other questions before we conclude this press conference? Thank you for your time. This press conference is concluded.
Okay. All right. The press conference is concluded. Thank you guys for watching. I do have some more videos that we're going to go over. I may be back later on tonight. Like I say, all weekend we're going to be covering cases and going over things and hopefully getting justice for these families and putting their stories out there. Maybe more content creators will talk about it, like Queen of Queens said she's going to start talking about this as well. The more the merrier. All right, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Don't forget to support the channel. The super chat, cash apps, however you want to support. Watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos. Thank you so much. I gotta go. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. You're probably gonna see me back again, okay? All weekend, we working. We got things to do. We fighting for justice, okay? Well, I'm trying to think of that one thing I wanted to mention about Sarah Huckabee, though. Hold on a second. There was one thing she's trying to, the new governor, Mike Huckabee's daughter, who's now the governor of Arkansas. She's put in a lot of executive orders. She learned that quite well from Donald Trump. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Let's see, what is it called? Affirmative action. They're trying to ban affirmative action, just get rid of it in the state of Arkansas. Then it will be totally left up to the federal government. You know, I'm just sad to say some states still need affirmative action. Okay, it just does. It's still needed. But Arkansas is ran, the local government is strictly ran by the Republicans. It's probably going to pass. Sarah Huckabee is on board. She will sign it. And then affirmative action will be removed from the state of Arkansas to be up to the federal government to make sure that everyone's rights are preserved. Yes, that's one of the things Sarah Huckabee is trying to do. She's following in the footsteps of her father, who made some horrific decisions that changed many lives in the state. And I'm one of them. Okay? Huckabee did an total injustice to me, the daddy Huckabee. Okay? All right, you guys have a good one. I'll be back later. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.